When my marriage ended 5 years ago, I bought a small beach house 2 hours from the city. It wasn't fancy, just weathered wood, salt-stained windows, and the sound of waves breaking in the distance. But to me, it was peace. My peace. I told no one about it except my younger brother, Liam. We'd always been close, or at least I thought we were. Growing up, he was the golden child, charming, spontaneous, and endlessly forgiven. I was the careful one, the planner, the one who held the family together when things fell apart. I'm Evelyn. After my divorce, I found myself craving quiet. So I poured what little savings I had into that house. I painted the walls myself, replaced the old fixtures, and even planted a little garden near the porch. Every time I looked out at the sea, I felt a piece of myself coming back. For years, it was my sanctuary, a place untouched by judgment, noise, or expectations. Until last December. It was a Friday evening when I decided to drive down unannounced. I'd been working too hard, barely sleeping, and I missed the smell of salt in the air. I packed a small bag, brewed coffee for the road, and left the city just before sunset. The drive was peaceful. The streets were empty, the radio hummed quietly, and by the time I reached the coast, the moon had begun its climb. My little beach house sat just as I'd left it, porch light glowing faintly, curtains drawn. For a moment, my chest swelled with comfort. Then, as I stepped out of my car, I heard laughter. Not the echo of television noise or neighbors talking. It was the kind of laughter that belonged inside my home. I frowned and walked closer. Through the window, I saw movement. Silhouettes, clinking glasses, soft music. And then, I saw him. Liam, my brother, sitting on my couch, feet propped on the table, a drink in hand. But it wasn't just him. There were two women I didn't know, a man grilling outside, and bags of groceries on my kitchen counter. My kitchen. I stood there for a moment, numb, watching them as if I were a stranger peering into someone else's life. Then I knocked. The door swung open, and Liam's smile froze the instant he saw me. "Evie, you're here early," he stammered, trying to sound casual. "Early," I repeated quietly. "It's my house, Liam. I don't think there's a schedule for when I can come home." The air between us went still. One of the women glanced over awkwardly, holding a drink halfway to her lips. Inside, everything looked different. Furniture rearranged, my framed photos replaced with his. There was a surfboard leaning against the wall that I didn't recognize. Even the smell was off, beer, sunscreen, and something fried. I wanted to scream. But instead, I just asked, "How long have you been staying here?" He sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "A few weeks. I lost my apartment, and you weren't using the place much." I figured. "You figured you'd move in?" I interrupted. He didn't answer. "Liam, this isn't a rental." "It's my home," I said, voice shaking now. "You didn't even ask." "I was going to tell you," he muttered. "I just needed time to get back on my feet. You've always had things under control, Evie. I thought you'd understand." That word, understand, stung more than I expected. It was the same excuse our parents had always used when they let him off the hook. The same word I'd heard every time he took something that wasn't his, time, money, attention. I looked around again. My grandmother's blanket gone. My favorite mug chipped. My privacy completely erased. I took a deep breath and said, "Everyone out. Now." The guests mumbled their goodbyes, shuffling awkwardly toward the door. Liam didn't move. "Evie, come on," he said softly. "It's just for a little while longer. I'll pay you back, I swear." I shook my head. "This isn't about money, Liam. It's about respect. And you've made it clear you have none left for me." For the first time, I saw something flicker in his eyes. Maybe guilt, maybe pride. But he didn't apologize. Not once. When they finally left, I sat down on the couch, his half-empty drink still sweating on the table. I listened to the waves crash outside, one after another, steady and relentless. And for the first time, I realized how tired I was of trying to earn the love of people who only showed up when they needed something. The next morning, I packed his things neatly into boxes. I changed the locks, scrubbed the kitchen, and opened every window. The ocean breeze rushed in, cold and cleansing. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't need another lecture about being too hard on him. I just decided, no more rescues. No more excuses. 3 weeks later, I got a letter in the mail. It was from Liam. Inside was a check, the full amount for 1 month's rent, even though I hadn't asked for it. On the back, he'd written, "You were right. I'm sorry. It wasn't much, but it was something. And for once, I didn't feel angry. Just done. Now, when I visit my beach house, I keep the porch light off. I don't need anyone to find me. The ocean doesn't judge. It just listens. And maybe that's all I ever needed. A place that didn't take more than it gave." Moral of the story: family love shouldn't mean blind forgiveness. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, not cruelty. Sometimes walking away teaches more than confrontation. Healing often begins the moment you stop explaining yourself. Peace is priceless. Protect it, even from those you love. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.